So we'll go ahead and get started in the interest of time. I know everybody's got things to do. I am recording this. I'll give it a little bit of introduction. And the Chamber of Commerce is actually really going to make an effort this year to reach out more into Hillsborough County in looking at our membership. Probably half of our members are in Hillsborough County. Reaching out to some of the county commissioners, and Alison has been kind enough to join us today. Because we really want to try and provide as much information, both from Pinellas and Pinellas and Hillsborough County as we can to our members, and things that might be available to them from a business standpoint and things like that. So I'll talk a little bit about Alison. In March of 2021, Alison joined the Tampa Bay EDC team as Economic Development Manager. In this role, she works to maximize economic impact through new business recruitment, as well as retention and expansion of existing companies throughout Hillsborough County. Alison's a graduate of University of West Florida and holds a BSBA in Marketing and Sales Management and Certificate in Supply Chain Logistics. Previous to her work at the EDC, Alison served as the AVP Business Consultant with Bank of America and VP of Corporate Partnerships and Marketing at Habitat for Humanity of Pinellas and West Pasco. She resides in Channelside with her husband, where they get to enjoy the Tampa Bay area down there. I was down there for a cruise last week, and I swear every time you go to downtown Tampa, there's a new building or something has popped up. So, and navigating the streets down there gets difficult every time. So welcome, Alison, and we look forward to what you have to offer today.
Thank you so much. And Doug, am I going to go ahead and present at this point?
Yep, go ahead, all yours.
Awesome. So I actually have some slides, so I'm going to share my screen with you guys if you can see.
Let's see, I didn't have to do anything last time. Let me see if I can.
No, I think I can do this here.
There.
Actually, let's do this. Here we go. All right. Can everyone see this?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. So before I get started, I just wanted to quickly ask, was anybody on the call able to attend our 2021 annual meeting for the EDC last year in November?
I was not on that call, no. I'm not sure about everybody else.
So for our annual meeting every year, we recap the work that the EDC has done. We invite the local community as well as businesses that we've worked with to really tell our story and the impact that we're making in the community. I know that we've all experienced a few hard years. So our theme in 2021 was unstoppable. So despite COVID, we here at the EDC were able to continue to work to bring businesses and jobs to Hillsborough County. So what I really wanted to focus on today is not only a brief overview of what the EDC does, but also the growth that we continue to see. And when I say growth, I mean not only jobs in the industry, but also, Doug, like you said, the real estate, the growth that we're seeing in our city itself. So I'm actually going to start with a quick video. We here?
Yep.
Yep.
Everywhere you look, new construction, growth, evolution across the Bay Area. Some of these developments you may have passed by, but if it's been a while, you're probably going to be pretty surprised by the progress.
Speaking of innovative, Midtown Air Force Base is getting ready.
The Tampa
Bay region talking about the downtown. Top 20 fastest growing places. People of Tampa Bay getting positions. billion vision for downtown Tampa.
It is time for this community to come together because we are in fact stronger together.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite videos. I keep telling the staff that we have to redo it now. We need to get Brady in there.
You know, that's incredibly impressive. Is that something that we're able to, are you able to share that we could
Yes,
share that?
so this is actually on our website, and what I can do is share this with the team afterwards. But this was
Wonderful.
actually, that video was created for our our Global Tampa Bay, which is our regional approach to the EDC. So that's in conjunction with the Pinellas EDC as well as the Pasco EDC. So it really focuses on
Great.
Tampa Bay as a whole. Yeah. So the Tampa Bay EDC was established in 2009 as a partnership between the public and private sector. We have been designated as the lead economic development agency for all of Hillsborough County, which includes the cities of Tampa, Plant City, and Temple Terrace. We're also an official partner of Enterprise Florida. And so really what we do here at the EDC can be broken up into 6 different categories, if you will. So our main focus is to create the biggest economic impact as we can through the creation of high wage jobs. So 3 of the ways we do that are through recruitment. So the recruitment strategy for us is to work with site selectors and companies themselves who are looking to either move their operation to Tampa or Hillsborough County or expand their operation into Hillsborough County. Our retention and expansion is for existing companies. So we are going to provide support and resources for them to continue to grow their workforce here locally. International business development focuses on trade and foreign direct investment. Our marketing team here not only provides a positive image and message to the community about our organization, but it also tells the story of the companies that are moving to Tampa and growing here, which I think is the most important thing. Those are the stories that we want to hear. That's the exciting piece of what we do. Research, this is not only for the companies that we work with, but existing companies and the community in itself. But we're going to provide research, data, statistics, and market trends as well. And then last but not least, investor relations. We are funded by private sector corporations. So this is something that we continue to work towards, build those funds so we can support our programs and initiatives here at the EDC. Any questions on those?
Nope.
No, just a comment.
Yes.
One of the things that's key to that, and I hope we address it a little bit, is the development of a professional workforce to support all that. Because if you don't have that, you've got troubles.
Absolutely. And we actually partner with Career Source Tampa Bay to find top talent. We're also really great partners with our local universities. Again, these great schools are continuing to grow and produce top talent for us here locally.
Are we keeping it here?
We better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
that is the hope. Again, the growth that we're seeing and all of the statistics are saying that millennials and graduates of these universities are staying here. So for instance, USF actually has an 85% rate of students that are staying within Hillsborough County, which I think is just unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah, because 4 key elements: economic development, land, labor, capital, and technology.
Absolutely. So whether you're relocating your company or you're expanding here, we're able to provide different resources. Here's just a quick snapshot of some of those resources. And I won't go too much into those. So these are the target industry sectors that we at the EDC focus on. This is just an overview here of the leading companies in Tampa Bay for each of those sectors. But I do want to talk a little bit about growth on each one of these and provide some statistics that I personally think are really interesting and exciting for our community. So defense and security, over the next 5 years, this sector is projected to grow an additional 11% in Hillsborough County in itself, which would outpace the entire MSA state and national rates. Again, that was 11% growth. Also in 2020, Wallet Hub ranked Tampa the #3 best place to live for veterans. Information technology. Again, we're seeing great growth here. By 2025, tech jobs in Tampa Bay are projected to grow by over 8.5%. Again, that would outpace the national average, which is about 2%. And this is probably one of my favorite statistics. Late last year in 2021, Forbes dubbed Tampa the #1 emerging tech city in the US. And what I can say from the work that we're doing here is that we have been seeing big tech companies relocating to Tampa during COVID. Florida was open to work. A lot of people were coming from Silicon Valley, Boston. So that was really, really great to see. Life sciences and healthcare. So we here in Tampa have emerged as one of the driving forces behind this entire growing industry. We have over 5,400 life science and healthcare companies. And locally, we employ over 80,000 people within this industry. Manufacturing, with over 2,800 firms, we employ about 62,000 people locally. And Enterprise Florida has listed Tampa Bay as the second largest manufacturing employment city in the state, and that's behind Jacksonville, and then oftentimes fluctuating between 2 and 3 is Miami and Orlando. But Tampa continues to rank in that top 4, which I think is very, very exciting for us. Distribution and logistics. We have a phenomenal international airport and a deep water seaport, which allows us to move over $160 million worth of goods every year. Financial and professional services. We are often called Wall Street of the South, which I think is great. But this is probably our fastest growing industry sector here in Tampa Bay. As you can see in the news, there's been a lot of press around this industry. There's been a 5-year employment gain of 13.9%, so almost 14%, which added just over 30,000 jobs. And that was calculated at the end of 2019. Again, I do want to notate, though, that the pandemic did not have a large effect on this industry specifically. And then
going back to manufacturing for a second. Are you working with Tampa Bay Partnership on their program, which is the
Tampa Bay Manufacturing Alliance?
Yeah. Well,
yes.
not the Tampa Bay Manufacturing Alliance, but the job that they're doing to develop a workforce for the healthcare industry and the manufacturing sector.
Yes, we are. We actually have a team specifically devoted to that, to the manufacturing sector. Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's something that you guys specifically are interested in, correct? Growing that manufacturing sector?
Yes. The chamber is a little bit, I used to work for the chamber, still kind of do, and I publish a monthly manufacturing newsletter. Goes out to about 500 drops.
Oh, fabulous. Okay. Yeah. And I can get some additional information on that manufacturing element. Again, we do have a team that specifically works within that sector.
Yeah, Oldsmar has a very big manufacturing population that people don't really even know that exists. So
exactly,
kind of hidden gem.
Yeah. And then last but not least is our corporate headquarters. So Tampa Bay is home to 20 corporate headquarters with over, $1 billion in annual revenue. 8 of those are Fortune 1000 companies. So this is a quick video. This was from our annual meeting. This is going to be a highlight on cybersecurity. Information technology continues to grow. Like I mentioned before, we're seeing a lot of movement from other states down to Florida. Cybersecurity is one of the niches within information technology that continues to grow. So here's a quick little video that we played at our annual meeting that I wanted to share with you guys as well.
Great talent, a welcoming business community, supportive local government, and a great quality of life. Tampa really does have it all. Homegrown firms such as ReliaQuest and Align are thriving and expanding here, and their success is attracting other fast-growing cybersecurity companies from across the country. If you're considering a move for your company, or you're in search of a new location to build your career, I would encourage you to consider Tampa. I know you'll be glad you did.
Tampa's been a great place to start ReliaQuest and grow ReliaQuest into really a global organization with a large employee base. It's been great. The willingness for partnerships, not only from our university systems, but access to retiring military and families is really a foundational part of how we grew. We've really grown along with the city. So as tech became more prominent in Tampa and ReliaQuest got bigger, we tended to grow together. And so it's been a really good relationship and a really good jumping off point for us to expand globally.
Tampa's a great place for Just Protect because there's an emerging technology scene. There's a great talent pool. Being able to get airside at Tampa International in 20 minutes from my doorstep. And at the weekends, you can just down tools and enjoy time with the family. We were living in New York City and the quality of life really wasn't there for my wife and I and my 2 children. So we moved to Tampa so that we could continue to grow as professionals, but also give our family a good quality of life.
It's a perfect place to grow a large force of a cybersecurity technology company, and then also have the benefits of a great community, great people for your kids and family to grow as well. And it doesn't hurt that you can hop on a boat on a Saturday and be to a sandbar in 25 minutes. So.
We were able to spread our wings because we didn't have the pressures of living in a big city. That really opened up the opportunities for me to get out and network with not only investors, but customers and also a talent pipeline. We grew tremendously in the first 3 months that we were here, and that's just because I had the freedom to be able to do it.
All right, so another great video. And just to recap, as I mentioned before, I really think that word unstoppable is really powerful. COVID, like I mentioned, was really tough on everybody. But at the EDC, we were able to not only meet our goals, but exceed them. In total, we completed 22 projects, 2,789 new jobs to Hillsborough County, and over $325 million in capital investment. So when you look at those numbers compared to other years, COVID really didn't stop us. So that's really exciting. And that's something that we want to continue to ride into 2022. And I'm actually going to skip this video. Okay. So here's some major developments. As I mentioned before, not only are we growing in jobs, but our city itself is growing. Currently there's over, and I think we need to relook at this number, but there's over $13 billion in new development happening in Tampa Bay right now. In the last few weeks, I think there have been a few more announcements. So I'll make sure that we take a look at that number. But again, the point is that there's billions and billions of dollars being put into this Tampa Bay area in terms of developments. So first I want to mention Water Street. Can I assume that everybody's been down here in this area and seen Water Street?
Yep, I have.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. So this is right outside of Tampa's downtown business district. It is a $3 billion mixed use district That's going to span 50 acres once it's complete. It's going to include 9 million square feet of residential, office, retail, educational, hospitality, and cultural space. Phase 1, which is actually going to be completed, I want to say this month or next month, is going to include the USF Morsani College of Medicine, the JW Marriott Hotel, Sparkman Wharf, 1001 office building, and 4 residential projects. I believe the majority of those are open and for business. It's just those residential projects aren't yet complete, which is again going to be great for the city of Tampa. Residential space is something that we are in desperate need of. The next one that I want to talk about is Sky Center 1. This is a hidden gem. If you're not frequenting the airport, you may not have seen this. Sky Center 1 is at the Tampa International Airport, and it's a new 9-story office building located in the Sky Center development on that airport property. It is 272 square feet of office space, has a conference center, fitness center, cafe, and access to multi-purpose trails. This building actually has an elevated pedestrian walk, which you can see there on the right-hand side, that leads the office to the Sky Connect train station and the rental car center. I believe they said it's an average of 10 minutes from desk to seat on the airport from this office space here on that airport land. And then this is just a quick view of the complete rendering. Phase 2 does include 2 proposed hotels, as you can see here in the yellow. Now Midtown is another popular one, which I'm going to assume most of you have seen and been to already. But Midtown is created to connect downtown Tampa with the West Shore Business District. So it's a $500 million development. And once complete, it's going to include 240,000 square feet of retail and entertainment space, 750,000 square feet of Class A office space, 400 residential units, and a dual branded 225 room boutique hotel. I do also have to say there's a fabulous rooftop bar there, Sally Mar, great views and great cocktails. They also
are you saying this from experience?
Yes, absolutely. No, it's a great venue for sure. And also another exciting thing, they opened up a 48,000 square foot Whole Foods, which I now frequent, as well as other exciting retail and dining like Sephora and Bella Brava. Again, those are my favorite, but really exciting. And I think I have another picture here. Yeah, so this is a rendering of what it's going to look like when it's complete. The only building that is not yet off the ground is that far office building. So this front one here off of Dale Mabry is complete, and I want to say has been 100% leased out. That Whole Foods and REI are the staples at the front. And then again, those jogging trails, dog park for both residents and workers who are here at Midtown. And then the West River redevelopment. This is really something that's important to our community. The West River neighborhood is about 150 acres of land that's located on the western banks of the Hillsborough River through downtown Tampa and Tampa Heights. Over the last few years, this has been one of the city's principal objectives to really get some development going here and make sure that the community and residents of all levels and income are accessing the river. So here's a quick snapshot of what the master plan is. And then I have a video, again, from our annual meeting, but Mayor Jane Castor goes a little bit more into this West River development and some additional interesting things to get this project off the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to that video.
Hello, everyone. Mayor Jane here. It's the City of Tampa's collaboration with the Tampa Bay Economic Development Council that is helping drive our city forward. Your recruitment and retention efforts are attracting well-paying jobs and talent to Tampa. The City of Tampa is committed to revitalizing underserved neighborhoods. As many of you already know, it's been my goal to add 10,000 affordable housing units to Tampa by the end of 2027. And I'm excited to say we are making a lot of progress. We just cut the ribbon here a few weeks ago at the boulevards at West River, and we're also getting prepared for another major development at the Rome Yard. It's an empty lot now, but eventually those 18 acres will be home to 954 residential units, 600 of which will be used for workforce and affordable housing. Through your partnership with the city's economic development teams, we're bringing investment, new jobs, and career training into opportunity zones in East Tampa. East Tampa continues to be a huge focus for my administration. We have two very exciting projects in the works that will bring a historic investment into the area. First, we're expanding and dramatically upgrading the Fair Oaks Community Center on 34th Street. We'll be making the traffic flow much safer, but more importantly, we are creating a bigger and better recreational space for people of all ages. Second, the construction of the City Center at Hano will begin in 2022. Should be completed by March of 2023. The facility will be home to 500 city employees and will bring a host of city services to East Tampa, all under one roof. It will also provide community gathering spaces both indoors and out. We're particularly excited about the workforce development component that's been included in this project. Soon, families will be able to connect with our neighborhood and community relations department in that new space. I'm so excited to see what you have in store for the next year. Thank you all for your hard work in making Tampa a place that is both equitable and prosperous for all families.
Nice.
All right. So that was that. So again, as you can see, there is a lot going on in Hillsborough County. Despite COVID, we've continued to grow, and we want to keep that train going into the year of 2022 and beyond. But I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have. And again, I'm happy to follow up with sending those videos over as well.
Yeah, the videos would be great. I want to share them with the Oldsmar, city of Oldsmar, and some of the key people there as well. Because we actually have, I don't know if you know, we're in the process. We just met with Forward Pinellas yesterday. We have a mixed use, not to the level of Midtown, but something similar to that with retail, residential, and a boutique hotel right next to City Hall on a 7-8 acre property on Tampa Road. We're looking to increase the density a little bit just because of the performer and the way the numbers work. And a question that I have, and these two terms get intermixed sometimes, but I think they're two definitely different terms, is workforce housing versus affordable housing. And while affordable housing obviously is ideal, most often we are looking for, at least when we find in the Oldsmar and Upper Tampa Bay Chamber people, we're looking for workforce housing. We go out to our businesses and they're looking for places that are that their workers, you know, the old live, work, play type of thing. And so, and unfortunately, those are higher paying jobs, and it's not necessarily, it doesn't fall into that affordable category. So it's tough to dot both those I's and cross both those T's in all areas, because it is typically a private sector development, and obviously they're looking to maximize, you know, their dollars. I heard Mayor Castor talk about the affordable component of it. How are they addressing that as far as making it affordable? And what is affordable? I don't really even know anything.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think I can speak to the level as Mayor Castor can on that specifically in that project in particular. But you know, it's a catch-22. We're looking to grow. We're looking to bring high wage jobs here, but with that comes those higher housing prices. It's, as a young professional myself, you can't live in the city. It's not affordable. I want to say that there was a recent report that came out, and we surpassed New York City in the rate of change in pricing. However, when you look at it, the bottom line, our pricing is still lower in housing than New York. There was just a larger difference in change over the last 2 years. But what that's going to look like, it's a tough call. And I think that's something that we always have to have on the forefront of our mind as we as a city continue to grow.
Yeah, I was part of the TDC Tourist Development Council when I was the mayor of Oldsmar. And, that's one of the struggles, and I'm sure it applies in Tampa is, okay, you've got all these great hotels and restaurants, but the people can't get there to work because they don't make a great wage, but yet they still need a job. And so that's always been the struggle is, how do you get them to their jobs, and where, and just finding the employees.
Exactly.
So that's a tough thing.
And then that brings us to transportation, which is another hot topic that nobody has answers to.
That's funny you say that. I do want to acknowledge that I have Amy here from Career Source Pinellas. So she's been taking some notes. She's in the chamber conference room with us, but that was going to be one of my questions. And Bob is on here. He looks like he's sitting in Star Trek's console, but he is part of the PSTA system. I was on that board of directors. I was on Forward Pinellas, and I was going to say, but you talked about the rate that people are moving here, and I know the pandemic has been a big part of that because they want to get out of New York and they want to get out of Michigan and blah 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 blah. But I always had heard, and you said, I think you used the percentage of 80% retention at USF, I think, which is phenomenal because it wasn't that long ago that you heard opposite of that they were leaving to go to school somewhere else and they were never coming back because just that, our Achilles heel has always been our transportation. Probably longer than you have been alive, they've been discussing, the rail system between Hillsborough and Pinellas County. And I always joke that they're going to have a transit stop at the top of the bridge because Hillsborough and Pinellas can't come to an agreement on what type of transit. So you'll have to get off of one and get on the other. And I joke about it, but it's literally been 40 years that's been talked about. So do you still find that as our Achilles heel a little bit, is just our ability to get people around?
Yes, I do. Unless you are an executive living within the city and have the ability to walk to work, transportation is always going to be an issue. And when we talk to companies, that's something that we come out and say immediately. We are a car-centric city. You have to have a car.
Yeah. My brother who lived in Chicago, for 40 years and never owned a car. He moved here, he was here 3 months and he had to get a car. So
yeah.
What do you find, and Amy may know this too, what do you see the new resume looking like, or wish list, or whatever you want to call it? Because we keep hearing that, especially from the young employees, they're wanting 3-day work weeks. They want 2 of them from home. They want, and they're able to get that in most cases, which obviously helps our transit system because people are working from home. But are you seeing more of that where people are kind of setting their demands on their careers? And you may as well, Amy.
Yeah, and I'll chime in really quick, and then Amy, please give us your opinion as well. But one of the things that we're seeing that is not necessarily good for us as an EDC, but these kids and young professionals are able to get these high-paying jobs and work remote, so they can be living in Tampa but working for Google or Amazon, and so they're having these high-paying jobs, but we're not technically keeping them here within our workforce. But in general, I think it's across the board with what people are expecting in terms of flexibility at the workplace. I think it really depends on what type of industry you're in.
Sure. Yeah. Manufacturing, you can't do from home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I have a friend that works for Fox News in Los Angeles, but she lives in West Chase. So
exactly.
And she's still making her Los Angeles Fox News salaries, and which is good for us because it stimulates our economy. I'm getting ready.
As long as she's spending her money here, yeah. exactly.
I'm getting ready to show her a $500,000 house, you know, that would cost her 3 times that in Los Angeles and probably.
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
That is true.
Naomi, do you have any thoughts on what you're seeing at Workforce Pinellas?
I just have to agree. It's really kind of a hybrid situation. We're seeing a lot of hybrid positions where they're doing a little traveling. So there is still, you know, some traffic demands and stuff like that. But like you said, it depends on the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What is the, somebody asked me this the other day. I was mentioning that I was downtown and every time you blink, there's a new building, but is most of that rental or is it condos or a combination of the two?
It's a combination. I want to say the majority of it is rentals. And then unfortunately in Water Street specifically, the condos themselves are condos that are starting at $1 million, $2 million. Yeah.
Yeah. And I sell real estate too. And one of the things that we're seeing and maybe you'll see it as well, and Amy as well, is that, and again, I get back to our own development that we're working on here in Oldsmar, is that the younger sector of workers, they don't necessarily want to own because they want the flexibility to be able to pick up and work from home in Colorado or pick up and work from home in Key West. And I assume that's probably what is sparking, you know, all this rental property and higher end. I mean, I gotta be honest, the Courtney Campbell Causeway, I think it's called Zen something, you know, and they're $3,000 and $4,000 a month.
Yeah.
Right? And as a realtor, I'm thinking, you know, but they want the flexibility and, you know, they don't necessarily want to have kids and blah, blah, blah. It's, how times are changing. So.
Oh, absolutely. Times are changing. That is for sure.
Good. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. I don't mean to hog up the whole thing. I always love these things and I can always come up with questions all day long, but I don't know who else. There we go. I'm just looking at who we got on. James Poulter, he's going to be our new incoming chairman of the board. He's the CEO of the Chichi Rodriguez Foundation.
Yes, I know James.
Oh yeah. Way to go, James.
I know James.
By the way, James's dad is in town and James left us for a little bit the other night and James's dad provided us with some stories for a future date. So yeah. So you may want to talk to your dad. Thomas King is one of our board members. He owns Florida Firearms Academy right there on Hillsborough Avenue. I'm looking who else. Jamie Ballard is on there. She's one of our board members. I mentioned Bob. Jerry Kilty's another one of our board members that we have on here. And Wendy, she's our nonprofit liaison. Oh, there's James. I was wondering.
James.
Hey guys, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, real quick, just wanted to say hi. We're actually shadow programming right now with our 8th grade academy students.
Wow.
We have 4 of our 8th graders been listening to a little bit of your presentation, Alison. That's why we're on no video for a little bit.
Fabulous.
They're all excited, learning more, and I asked them if they wanted to own their own house one day, and they all said yes.
Good. I know a realtor.
But I did have a question about one of the things that's been going on in Tampa that we're very proud of is Tampa Bay and all the sports stuff that's been happening. We're going to keep the Rays, Alison. Are you part of that conversation?
You know, there's been a lot of talk. My hope is yes. It's sounding good.
That's exciting.
It's sounding good. Yeah.
All right. Well, we just wanted to say hi and thank you for your time today. And
absolutely. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. So one of the people I mentioned this earlier, we had Walt Fudge from Good Karma Productions on the other day, and they work closely with ESPN, and similar to a lot of the things that you're talking about with the business sectors coming here. He moved here from San Diego, and it was because of Tampa Bay. And I think the energy that is there, I don't even think we can measure it, but the energy that is there with obviously Jeff Vinnick and the Lightning starting it all off down there. I got to think that that's got to be a draw from a business standpoint is, you know, the quality of life that we have, I have a jacket on, but it's still 75, 80 degrees and no snow. I got to think that the Tampa Bay has kind of taken on a life of its own when it comes to people wanting to relocate.
It has, and I'll give you an example. So we recently announced a global business who had not yet established a headquarters. They had offices in over 11 countries, but they were looking to establish a headquarters in a city that had draw. So when they had their employees and clients coming from all around the world, they wanted to be able to stay in a hotel where there was top entertainment, top sports, and they chose Tampa.
Wow, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, I think we're, I don't know how long this bubble will last, but hopefully for quite some time. And so that's exciting. How much do you guys work with Scott Talcott and Pinellas EDC and those guys? We actually had a meeting with him, myself and our chamber CEO or president or chamber board member now. And we drove around Oldsmar looking at opportunities for either existing companies to expand, companies to relocate, or to retain. We have a 140 or 150,000 square foot warehouse that's being built in Oldsmar, and we've already occupied probably half of it, maybe even all of it, I think, with somebody that needs to expand. So the retention is really the thing that we're running out of land. So
exactly.
And then And so do you guys work with them closely, or is it a Hatfields and McCoy's?
No, well, we do work with them a lot. So again, Global Tampa Bay is our regional approach. So that includes work between Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Pasco. So Scott is part of that with us as well. I talk to Scott frequently. When we think of companies that are looking to relocate to Tampa Bay, they see Tampa Bay as one place. They don't see Tampa, St. Pete, Plant City, Pasco. They don't see the lines there. They don't know the difference. So when they're coming to Tampa Bay, they're often looking in all three counties. So that's when we have to team up together to really show off the region itself. So we do work with them quite often.
Yeah, and I think that I get back to that 40-year plan of a rail system, and as I mentioned, Bob works with PSTA, and I know those invisible borders affect us on so many levels, whether it's regional transportation, regional sports authority. People don't care, but boy, does it affect us.
It does.
I was shocked. I met a Hillsborough County commissioner years ago that didn't even know where Oldsmar was, didn't even know it was in Pinellas County. And so you find these unseen barriers that keep us. And I was shocked when I was on the board with the PSTA. We had never even met with the Heart Board before. And so we finally had a meeting, and I think that goes to the county levels as well, that the county commissioners on Hillsborough and Pinellas and Pasco, if you want to throw that in. So I hope we can slowly break that wall down. And because like you said, when you're talking to a company about coming down here, they could give two craps about, boundaries.
Exactly. And when St. Pete or Oldsmar wins a project, it's good for the entire region.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Period.
So,
and I think we need to remember that in all things that we do.
Yeah, I think I don't remember how long ago, but Pinellas was actually part of Hillsborough County at one point. So I don't know how long ago that was. But Bob shaking his head. Do you know, Bob?
Yeah, actually, it was the early 1900s. I think it was in, I want to say 1901. We were West Hillsborough County.
Wow.
And then I think it was either in 1901 or in the 20s that we became Pinellas.
So there you go.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
Ask Jerry Beaver. Doug, ask Jerry Beaverland.
Oh yeah, our former mayor and historian is here. He's got a lot of history on the Tampa Bay area for sure. So you know what we're named after, Alison? You know what Oldsmar's named after?
No.
You'll probably have to have somebody explain it to you, but we are named after Ransom Eli Olds, the founder of the Oldsmobile.
Really?
Yeah, and it's and the
Oh,
MAR, the MAR is Mediterranean for sea.
Yeah.
So it's Olds by the sea, Oldsmar.
Okay.
Yeah, so you might have to have somebody explain what an Oldsmobile is to you, but yeah, he founded it in 1916, and it was, the intent was for the auto workers from Detroit to come down here and retire or vacation down here in Oldsmar. So yeah, that's a little.
That's very cool.
So, yeah, Eli. Actually, some of the grandkids are still come and participate in our parade. So.
Oh wow.
Great grandkids, yeah. So at any rate, any other questions? I've pretty much hugged up. Thomas, you got anything over there?
I got a question for you. And Alison, nice to meet you, Thomas King.
You as well, Thomas.
Very excited about what's going on in Tampa. That's very cool stuff. I really love seeing Tampa grow. It's such an amazing place. How is the city adjusting to the supplies and prices for the upcoming builds? I'm having a hard time myself just getting a roof put on my house, but I'm also looking to expand as well. And prices, it's just not cost effective for me right now, as to opposed to 3 years ago when I had it priced out, and now it's almost even doubled. What are you guys doing to fight for that and to get the people on that can do the job?
Yeah, I think it really starts with our government. It's a tough situation and everybody is hurting. I continue to get calls from healthcare companies who can't get bottles produced to fill with their product. It's a struggle for everybody. I don't know what the answer is, Thomas. I really don't think that I can speak on that.
But do you guys have a contract now for the upcoming builds that you're working on and you're locked in? And are you having supply problems getting the parts in to build these?
So we wouldn't do that. So we wouldn't fund anything. The EDC wouldn't fund any of that type of stuff. So we wouldn't work on those types of contracts.
I see.
No, but again, it is. Go ahead.
And I can tell you from a real estate perspective, we had a project out on Clearwater Beach, and I'm sure it's similar to downtown. And to Thomas's point, when they priced out the project 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, and people started purchasing at them, it was one price point, but then, the margin got smaller and smaller and smaller because of the supply. We have a project in Dunedin that, they can't get appliances for, they can't get drywall, they can't get, light switches, fences, and not only is it delaying it, but it just drives up the cost. And then you add the increased labor cost on top of it, that is really, really hurting. And I don't think that's unique to Tampa. I think that's a global problem, or at least
absolutely.
United States problem. So I'm sure Bob can, the cost of buses and, the ability to get them has probably increased dramatically over time as well. So, it's tough. I know, James, you mentioned, I remember on another call, you had priced out your irrigation system at Cheap Cheese, and the price, I don't know if it doubled, but I know that you had said.
You're right, Doug. It went from 1.2 to 1.8 million in less than 2 years. So it went up $600,000 in 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of people revisiting expansion and things like that. So for sure. But any other questions on there? Jerry Kilty, I see you on there. I haven't heard from you. That's unusual. I like calling people out. Probably sleeping. Anyway, I am gonna do this, and if you can get me the links to those videos, those are great. And I don't know who produced them, but they were great. So
absolutely.
I'm laying low, Doug, and I'm studying this supply chain imbalance.
That's what you're doing. Okay, Jerry. Whatever you say.
Well,
I do have one easy.
I teach it.
We actually have every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 J's on the call today. I don't know what the deal is, but anyway. All right, we're back again, James.
Bye.
Thanks for everybody, and I'll get these videos out to everybody once I get them from Alison. Awesome. We look forward to doing this again.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.